I Don't Get the Bible with Delaney and Shawn. Delaney, McCraney, Norris, Shawn, McCraney, dad and daughter, here to talk about Hebrews. And we're starting with chapter 2.
Finally.
Yeah, it took us a while to get through 1.
All right, chapter 2. Therefore, we ought to give the most earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. For if word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense of reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at the first began to be spoken by the Lord, and was confirmed unto us by them that heard him? God also bearing them witness, both with signs and wonders, and with divers miracles and gifts of the Holy Ghost according to his own will. Gosh, this is so hard.
It is. It's complex writing.
Okay, so the previous chapter was a lot about distinguishing Christ from just angels in general. So he's saying if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, I honestly
don't know what to say.
What is it? What is being said here?
The writer
I have to
of
learn
Hebrews,
how to read this.
I know, it's a new language.
This is so frustrating.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, public.
The writer of Hebrews is talking to Jews, so he's saying, therefore, if God was just in the past, doing what the angels said he would do, how much more will he be just if we don't follow in what we have today?
Uh-huh.
That seems to be the summary of what you just read.
Okay. Can I read it again?
Yeah.
Don't hate me. Therefore, we ought to give the most earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest any time we should let them slip. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a recompense of reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation? What? I don't get that. How shall we escape?
That if we neglect to take heed to what we've heard about the Messiah being here, if God in the past was just enough to give everybody what they deserved, that's why he says recompense for reward, then how much more is he going to be, really, really stern on us taking our realization that the Messiah has come and just not following it.
Okay.
He is directly talking about the great and dreadful day. We are going to be held accountable here if you don't take heed to what we have been taught.
Okay. And you say that specifically because it just ended. We talked about it. Sit on my right hand until I make thy enemies a footstool. Yeah. Great and dreadful day. Okay. For unto the angels he hath not put in subjection the world to come, whereof we speak, but one in a certain place testifying, saying, what is man that thou art mindful of him, or the son of man that thou visitest him? Thou madest him a little lower than the angels. Thou crowned him with glory and honor, and did set him over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet.
Has put, right?
Wow, yeah.
So what he's saying is, listen, angels didn't have the kingdom and world to come to be put under their control. Though there was one who has that done. That's how to summarize that.
Okay.
Why do you smile?
Because I don't think we can do this off the cuff. I need to read this in advance the way we used to.
Yeah, you can do that.
We're making the decision on the air.
You can do that, but let's finish this episode and the next one, and then you can go to that. Because, this is super hard to understand.
Yeah, it's good. For people reading the Bible for the first time, it's good to hear how you explain it.
Yeah.
But, okay. So then he says, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him.
That's right. Now, isn't that amazing?
Crazy.
That they'll say declaratively, it's all under him.
Yeah.
But it hasn't completely happened yet. Why? Because he hasn't returned.
Okay, keep going. But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man.
Yeah.
They're saying it's not yet under him, but we've seen these things happen so far. For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one, for which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren. I should stop.
So what he's saying there is, what questions do you have?
Well, no, just that trips me up, and we spent a lot of time talking about that. But he that put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Jesus, we've seen these things happen. Like, what? I just don't understand what Christians make of this kind of talk. Like, that is,
I don't know.
So, yeah, that's confusing, first of all. Like, what they think isn't put under him still right now. Christians
They would focus on but not all.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is that writer is talking about Satan, because he was still allowed to reign during that time. He was like a roaring lion, and his time was short. But
they do realize that, though, because they think Satan is doing all that.
They think he's still doing it today.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that the writer of Hebrews is saying he's had everything put under him, because even before he ascended, he said to his apostles, all things have been given unto me, or in my power. So he said it then. But the way Jews speak, it's not like that's definitive. They speak like a movie, where the movie starts off and the guy says, I've won. And then the movie goes in and shows all the stuff he goes through before you figure out what he's actually won. Jews write the same way. Yeah. So that writer is saying, when he says not all things yet, he's talking about Satan. They get that, but they don't realize that would end when he returned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I want to see one more time. Until I make your enemies my footstool.
Right.
Or your footstool. Okay. So for both he that For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things.
Okay, so stop.
Yeah.
Him, he's talking about Christ, all right? And in and through Christ, the Word of God, all things were made. Okay, that's how to see it. Now,
which is this whole thing with people saying Christ was at the beginning, right? Right. Sorry.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Was that what you were going to say?
Yeah, but
sorry.
No, I'm glad you're getting that.
For it became him. What does it say for that? But we see Jesus, who is made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death. For it became him. What does that mean? For it became, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings.
So it was attractive to God to take Christ, make him the captain of salvation by allowing Christ to suffer.
Yeah. That is something that is not, I feel like is not at all made obvious as to why that's the case. Like, Christians blindly accept and don't understand at the same time that's how important suffering is to everything that God has done. And like, atheists who criticize Christians don't understand that either. Like, I don't know. It's a really weird thing to read the Bible today and see it said plainly when, like, I feel like to them that was having to be taught. Like, suffering is the way that God made this happen. It wasn't this like material reigning kingdom where they weren't suffering. It was the opposite. And it seems like that had to be shown to them. Is that true?
That is such a good point, because to a Jew, to suffer meant God was not happy with you. Yeah. And so the writer of Hebrews is trying to say the suffering was the way God got his will done, is through him.
Why do you think that's the case when it was punishment all this time for Jews? And then
I don't know.
That's the way that Jesus had to...
Maybe that was the way God hit them in their pride. Maybe that was the way it became very tough for them to accept him, so that they would kill him and see him as a loser hanging on a cross. No Jew would ever believe that was a Messiah. So maybe it was in order so that they would kill him. I don't know, because it will say in places that he blinded them so that they would not. So, but I don't know. It's a very hard thing to understand completely. Because on one sense, he's blinded them. On another sense, he's elected them. On another sense, he's given them free will. I mean, the nation was used by God. Simply as that. And he used them and the way they did things to bring about salvation for us. Yeah.
But like suffering, like the role of suffering with Adam and Eve, I wonder if it's always been like that. Like, they couldn't eat of this thing, like maybe that was suffering to them, or I don't know. Like it's always through suffering that God does things.
Well, I think if you go back to the garden, because if that's the case and that's how God does everything and always does, then when we die we can expect to suffer. And that is not supported in the text.
Well, in this life.
Okay. And in this life, in the garden, the idea was, if you love me and trust me and put your faith in me, then you don't suffer at all. They chose to do things their own way, and that brought suffering into the world.
Yeah, but it's like equating sacrifice to suffering. There's some sacrifice that comes with following God always, even in the garden.
Yeah, and so the only sacrifice would have been, we don't get to eat that darn tree. Yeah,
it's not a big one, but clearly it was big enough for them to still have to do it.
Just think about it. Just think about kids. You know, do not eat that cake that's sitting on the counter. Our nature is, I just want to taste it.
I know. What is that about? But the captain of their salvation, perfect through sufferings too. It wasn't even just...
Because we're going to read later in Hebrews where he says that he learned obedience. Christ, he learned obedience through the things he suffered. Yeah.
That's insane. Learned obedience. God, Christians have really effed all this up so much. Like, it's been made so plain, and it's not plain. And I feel like they're making Jesus out to be the opposite, where like as if he didn't suffer and die. Like they're making him out to be what Jews thought he would be, basically.
Yeah. They've made him something that diminishes what he really did. Yeah.
So for both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one. Why does he say that?
Because he who sanctifies, that's Christ, and those who are sanctified, those are believers in him through faith.
What does it
They're
mean?
all the same Spirit. It's the same Spirit that was in Christ that sanctifies them as what's in them who are sanctified. They are one with him. They are his brothers. They are his co-heirs. Co-heirs.
I'm trying to understand how to read this to find the point. I'm probably just going too slow, but like what does that line add to? What is the point that's trying to be made right now?
Oh, it
overall?
Unfolds throughout the whole book.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We know a man, he's a PhD, very smart man. He does not like this book. It's a tough book. And so, as things go, the tougher things are, the more beautiful they are when you start to learn to hear what's being said.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting morsels of things that, and
morsels.
I'll come back. Okay. So they're all of one, for which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren.
That's right. We are all the same Spirit. You're my brothers.
Yeah.
Now the Mormons take that and say he's our elder brother. They go the other direction and
wow.
Yeah.
I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the church I will sing praise unto thee. What?
Quoting the psalm.
Because I don't like blame the Mormons for seeing it that way here, but
right.
The like joint heirs is more the thing, or what is it?
It's joint heirs.
Okay.
So, and we're going to talk about that next year, in that the Christians never talk about being joint heirs with Christ. How could they? He's God, right? He's the Trinity. The Mormons have it right when that he is our spiritual brother, in the sense that he had the victory for man.
And we like get the same level of
spirit, the same Spirit.
Gets. Yeah.
But what they do is they say it's because we have the same Father from a pre-existent state.
Yeah, that's messed
and that's
up.
when it gets all hinky.
Joint heirs is a term, right?
Oh yeah,
like
often joint heirs.
Used. Why don't Christians talk about that?
Because
the Trinity.
They just have put him on a place where they don't relate to him in the absolute biblical way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also we're supposed to emulate him, and in their eyes.
Yeah, you're supposed to do what he does.
Good as him.
We'll never be as good as him. We're supposed to love like he loved. That's the commandment.
Okay.
Because if we're supposed to emulate him, then we should be, if we're really supposed to, then we should do what he did.
Yeah.
And how do you turn water to wine?
Yeah.
How do you, come on.
I know. I'm having a lot of trouble lately. There's a lot of rhetoric like that about what Jesus would actually do right now. Like, and it's always political. One is like Jesus would help the poor, be a Democrat, or Jesus would fight for your freedom, be a Republican. Like, it's that like ridiculous, but that's like talked about a lot of references, and it's always like people, they pull out the Bible and read the red letters stuff, like, and I've been wondering about that, especially with regard to a recent teaching you did with the mortal Christ versus the risen Christ. Like, emulating Christ seems like a really weird thing to try to do.
That's religion.
Yeah.
It's pure religion. And so when people say I only read the red letters, They're reading red letters that were spoken to a people who were under the law, and it has no bearing on how they are supposed to think or live. And they can't see that.
So it would be, if there's a more reasonable way to go about it, it's more along the lines of a conservative, which they look at the apostles and what the apostles did. Like, there's people that look at Jesus himself and what Jesus did and emulate that, and then there's people that look at how the apostles did things. It seems like there's that sort of divide to me culturally.
I'm trying to think about where that exists. I've never thought of people following the apostles.
Like in the way that they set up church and so
the liberal way is follow Jesus.
Sort of. I kind of hear it that way. Maybe I'm the only. That's the sort of distinction. The appeal from conservatives or people that believe in victory and freedom and stuff are like law oriented people. So there's always appeals to like authority and like apostle stuff. And then the other ones are like, that's not who, like Jesus himself wouldn't have done that. Like they were following Jesus, you know?
I get it. It's all division. It's all special interest focus.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, if we take who Yeshua was, and if we say, what would Yeshua do if he came here today? He would speak the truth. Without question, the truth. But he would do it in love as a means to reach into the heart of those who were lost. Then he would die for us. All the other stuff is all about the Jews.
He wouldn't be doing anything that anyone is saying,
right?
Really, like
right.
It's a different.
He wouldn't touch politics.
But it was just bringing up emulating him, as a
risen
weird
Christ
thing.
we emulate, mortal Messiah we can't.
What?
Risen Christ we follow, the mortal Messiah we can't.
Follow and emulate are different things to me.
Okay, just say emulate then.
No.
Yeah.
And like we try to act the way that Jesus acted.
By the power, no.
Acted.
We try to live by the power of his Spirit, which has overcome all things. We do not.
That's not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
emulate
not
doesn't
us. I'm probably just using the wrong words. I just think of people are trying to replicate Jesus's being in themselves, and it's like, no, it's his. It's like your argument of our faith versus his faith. It's like we have faith in his faith.
Yeah. But the risen Christ is who had the victory, and that is who we follow. That is what we want to live by. We want to, if we could follow anything, it's what the risen Christ, spirit of the risen Christ was, victorious. We can't follow the mortal Christ because we can't keep the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're like, okay, following him is like appealing to him.
Yeah.
It's not us trying to rise and resurrect.
It's
and
allowing him to, right? Yeah, perfect.
Again, I put my trust in him. I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the church I will sing praise unto thee. And I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children of God, the children which God hath given me. Okay, for as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage.
Okay. So what he's saying there is he became flesh so that he could have the victory over the being that terrified his brethren, who was Satan, an accuser of the brethren by the law.
Mm-hmm.
So he destroyed him. That word destroyed, I believe in the Greek, is past tense.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Could be wrong, but I think so.
That he might destroy him.
Yeah.
It says here.
Yeah, I don't think might
Wow.
means maybe. I think it means...
Like would.
Yeah.
Wow. And deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage.
Remember we talked in verse by verse about the terror of living in that age of death?
Yeah.
How you were going down into the earth.
I know. That must... Geez, I'm scared of death now and have like a lot of reassurances of death being okay. That must have been really horrifying.
I guarantee in your case and in the people who even tune into this, death is going to be a glorious thing. It's a terror in the Old Testament. Terror.
The where you're going.
Yeah. And for people who don't believe, they don't know the great news, and so they say Jack Nicholson is terrified of dying.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a reason to be terrified of dying, Jack.
I will not ever understand how that is not a bigger thing in Christianity. That technically it's Sheol right now for them.
Yeah.
Like technically they're
it that
not
way.
going to heaven.
Another inconsistency.
It really bothers me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, technically, because he hasn't returned, the final judgment hasn't happened, read about in Revelation 19 through 22. Bottom line, you're right.
And not only do they not acknowledge that, they think that where they're going is eternal.
Yeah.
It's not ever going to change.
They're going to God. Yeah.
Heaven or hell
right
now.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense.
No sense. See, you're starting to see already, and it's frustrating, isn't it?
That one's really, really frustrating. Like, all the other stuff is like, okay, they just don't think he's returned.
Right.
So I guess it makes sense to do church all these ways. But that one's like, okay, if you don't think he's returned, then don't talk about hell like this.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So you're seeing the value then of right eschatology.
For sure.
Yeah. You wouldn't have this problem with the Christians if your eschatology was the same as theirs. Because you understand fulfillment, their beliefs are utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So when you get with your friends from Point Loma, etc., and just say to them, so where do you think you're going to go when you die? And then just start questioning them down this line.
I already know what they think because there's so many people around us that have died from school that, and the way they talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Christian, even like theologians and stuff aren't talking this way. Do scholars point this out? Like
only preterist scholars.
Yeah, like
I learned it from Marshak.
The fact that the Sheol, New Jerusalem thing.
No, I learned it from Marshak, the inconsistency of thinking that people, if Christ hasn't returned, die, go to God, and then they have to come out from that place to be judged at the great white throne in order to see if they go back to God. Yeah. But in the meantime, they're with God, and people in hell are still, it just absolutely, when I saw it and I learned that, I thought, okay, nail in the coffin.
Yeah, for sure. It's really backward. So, okay, wait. That through death he might destroy him that had power of death. That's the devil. Yeah. Also, because we talked so much about Satan earlier, what is the devil in this case? What is that devil?
I think it is the law.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think it's the law.
Had the power of death. That is the devil.
And the power of death is in the law. Why? Yeah. Because the law makes you a sinner. And the wages of sin is death. You know when you've asked Delaney too many questions, when she goes into the Texas accent. Damn.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we're over time. Let's finish the chapter. For verily he took and deliver them through fear of death, were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wow. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be merciful and a faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in that he himself hath suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted. Wow, I've never seen it, so I actually got that part.
Yeah, isn't that
very
beautiful?
Clearly, yeah.
And it's clearly to the Jews. He became Israel, and he did it as a son of Abraham for his brethren who were under the law. That's why the writer of Hebrews is speaking specifically to Jews.
Yes.
But we can learn so much about why we had this old covenant and what Christ came to do in and through studying this.
Yeah. It's so crazy though, because as someone who doesn't understand the Bible, I wouldn't have seen that right away.
No.
What you're saying, like, it's so hard to read it and like really get that that's what's going on. It makes perfect sense now that you say it, but also he took not on him the nature of angels, which is like, I feel like that sort of talk clarifies Trinitarian issues. Like, I feel like the Trinity makes Jesus a like mythological creature that's like an angel, that's God on earth, not a human with God in him. So I feel like that sort of, I don't know if that is a relevant
I could see you
read
using
of
that
it.
to help you clarify that misdirection that's taken from the
It's just-
Trinity.
I don't know.
But the Jews were probably saying he was an angel in that time. They
That's
weren't
why
saying, and so he's saying he wasn't an angel.
Okay.
Yeah. And he focuses the first chapter all on angels.
How he's not an angel.
But do you notice what he said there, which proves the incarnation changes the spirit?
Wait.
The last line.
So hath suffered being tempted, so he's able to succor those that are tempted.
That's right. If he never came and was tempted, how on earth is he going to help those who are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is explicitly about the Jews. Like, my first thought would have been that he came down just to be like people. Like, he's fulfilling it for all people, but it's the seed of Abraham, like unto his brethren, to be made a high priest, to make reconciliation for the sins of those people, like
That's
through
right.
their own
High priest
laws.
was them. There's nobody else who had them.
Yeah.
All of it.
He wasn't, okay, this also brings up a conversation that Larry and I had one time, which is he wasn't an actual like high priest in Judaism.
No.
Like,
He was
they
from the wrong
rejected
tribe.
him. Oh.
Yeah. He was from the tribe of Judah. High priests all came from the tribe of Levi.
So that must have been confusing, because we've talked about this. Like I think some people think that he actually fulfilled the law by like doing the things. He broke all the laws.
He broke a lot of them, but he kept the ones that were supposed to be kept, and he kept them in the right way. The
What does that
traditions of
mean?
men messed around with it. And so he clarified what the law and how the law was supposed to be observed in the way he did it. They said, you're breaking it. That's because they were living by tradition. He
Okay.
came and he showed them the meaning of the law and how it was to be lived.
Right.
So he wasn't a breaker of it, but in their eyes he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't obey the law according to them.
Their traditions, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like Larry at least thought he obeyed their laws too.
Oh no, not
Which is like-
not their interpretation of it.
Yeah.
But he'll say in his life, go to the priest and show him that you've been healed and do the alms, and he was doing all that with them. So because he said, I didn't come to take away from that, I came to fulfill it.
Okay, another reason why we clearly are not emulating Jesus.
Right.
They pick like a couple random things that he did.
Right.
Not go to the high priest and do.
Get it?
Yeah.
Another thing about that, I know we've gone over, but the fact of the matter is, read that last line again.
For in that he himself hath suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted.
Yeah. And so when it says he's from Abraham,
yeah,
we are adopted into that, but in that time we weren't adopted yet. The world was not adopted, right?
Okay.
Gentiles were not adopted.
Okay, wait. So the last two things are that the seed of Abraham and the high priest thing. Why? Who decided he was a high priest? When that came up.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We're going to open up with that on how was Jesus the high priest if he came from the tribe of Judah. And we'll open that up with our next one.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.